redefined.
Let yourself be redefined. Let yourself be redefined.
You got the power.
All right. Thank you guys for joining me on the first episode of Brotox and Chill. Super excited to be here. Couldn't be any happier. There's no better way to kick off the first episode of the show than my good friend. I like to consider him a mentor as well. Phil Stamper. My entry into this industry really had a lot to do with Phil. My story really begins with you, man. So thank you for making the time to join us today.
No, absolutely, man. Thanks for having us. And cheers. I got myself a little reposado and one here to make this show great, baby.
There you go. There you go. And that's why you're the first guest on the show, for sure. I'm right behind you on the reposado. I'll be joining you soon. Please. You know me and tequila, Phil. You know how I do. But let's do this. Let's do this, man. There's a reason, other than our personal connection, there's a reason why I wanted to kick off the show of Brotox and Chill with you. I really feel that you embody what this show is all about as far as merging aesthetics and bringing it not just to men, but bringing it to different demographics and merging it with pop culture. So I really want our viewers to become more familiar with you and your story. A big portion of the folks that are tuning in today will be familiar with you, but they may not know your origin or your background story. So if you don't mind, Phil, could you just kind of start it off by letting us know, like, where are you from? How'd you get started? Like, how did you stumble into the world of aesthetics?
Man, that is a long story, but I'll do my best to give you the cliff notes on it. I'm originally from Oklahoma, man. I grew up in a small town, Clinton, Oklahoma, and lived there most of my life till I was basically most of my childhood, I should say, through high school. And upon graduating high school, I took a football scholarship to the University of Nevada, and that's really what got me out of Oklahoma. So, went out there for school, played football out there, and while going to school, I never really knew what I wanted to do. It was always one of these things that I really just wanted to chase passion and do the things I did. When I was at school, it was all about football. So got through with football, chased the pro dream for a while. It never really panned out. So I settled down in Tahoe for a little bit and was a casino marketing host with a job that I'd gotten through an alumni with the school that hooked me up there. And I did that for a while. That then took me to Vegas. I started my first company in Vegas, which was pretty much a high-end concierge company that worked with private jet clients and high net worth individuals, whether it be executives, pro athletes, people like that were coming to town. And it was more of just kind of a lifestyle management company based out of Vegas. I was able to sell that company and then basically, like I said, just chase more passion projects. But how I got into the aesthetic industry is I was living out in Los Angeles around 2015, and I had sold a company that I was partners in Australia, and I was back and kind of trying to figure out what the next chapter was going to be. And I was approached by a mutual friend of a doctor and asked if I would take a stab at basically just doing some consulting on a new med spa that they were looking to open. And I said, you know what, I don't really know anything about this space. And obviously it was pretty new at the time. But I said, you know what, I'll take a stab at it. The one thing I do know is in marketing, anytime you're taking on a job like that, you're basically just looking at parallel industries anyway and kind of seeing what's working in other places.
Right. And
I took on the assignment, and in the process of doing that, I learned a lot, not only about the medical industry in general, but mainly about aesthetics and how it was really just kind of the wild, wild west. There was no governing body. If anything, it was just a tug of war at the time between dermatology and plastic surgery. They were just say, hey, aesthetics is us, aesthetics is us. And it's like, you know what? It's really not. It's not topical. It's not surgical. It's its own injectable kind of subsector, if you may, of the medical industry. And at the same time that was going on, you had a lot of the doctors that didn't like the fact that nurses were out earning them because they could see more clients in a day than them for injectables. And they were getting a lot of pushback where doctors were saying, or mainly like core providers were saying, you know what, we don't want the non-core to be able to do this. And so just in the amount of time that I'd put in, I just saw some just some glaring holes that needed to be filled, and somebody needed to do it. And I thought, you know what, there's a good opportunity here to step up, start an organization that A, recognizes aesthetics as its own sector of the medical industry, and B, B, advocates for the non-core provider. And so in doing so, we got a lot of support right off the jump of people in the industry that were like, hey, I want to be a part of this movement, the way the industry's going. I'm tired of what's happening and the politics and everything else with it. And that's what we were there to avoid. And we did. I got a lot of pushback in the very beginning because we started out doing it and they're like, hey, who is this guy? He's not part of our community. He's not part of us. Who is he to be doing this, and that? And the truth of the matter is, it's a good thing I wasn't part of the community, because that makes me non-biased and kind of a voice of reason, instead of it just being the same old guard that, makes the rules and pushes people around. So in doing that, we got started. We put together a really good elite committee of, kind of foremost experts, people that demanded respect throughout the community nationwide. And from there, started doing the Top 100 Award, which was just meant to be fun. It was one of those things. Hey, let the industry recognize who they like, who they think's the best, and let's put together a list of the top providers out there and show them some respect. And so, through doing that, we did that the first year, and it kind of took off. And then shortly after that, Real Self tried to do their own award similar to it. They did a most loved injectors, but then they fell off of that and pretty much stuck with the plastic surgery game and not the aesthetics. But one thing we did notice is that really worked was when they did their award, they let the public vote. They let people's patients vote. And the main reason they were doing that is to collect the database of information. They were like, hey, you know what? If we let the public vote on these awards, we can capture pretty much data of everybody in the country who's interested in these type of procedures or is getting these type of procedures, or why else would they be voting for their favorite provider? So I saw an opportunity in that and switched up our format after that and started allowing both providers and patients to be able to vote for those particular reasons. But we just always made the peer votes worth more. We never wanted it to be a pure popularity contest. We wanted it to be fun, but somewhat legitimate too. And it's never going to be foolproof, but nothing is. But at the same time, we do the best we can with it. We've been doing that award now for over 8 years, and it's become a big deal to a lot of people in the industry, and it's helped a lot of people grow into KOLs through that position. But there's just so much more to the business than that. Like, a lot of time, people don't realize what our company, Aesthetics America, really does. I've already pretty much talked about how we got started, but where we've pretty much evolved from there is we had the award going. And after we did that first award, a lot of people were reaching out going, hey, I didn't see anybody on that list of 100 in my area. Who would you recommend in my area? And we started looking at that, and we were getting so much feedback that I said, you know what, we really need to do a national directory of recommended providers, and not recommended by me, not recommended by popularity, but based on people that go to these conferences and peers and KOLs, hey, asking their opinion. Hey, you guys are from that area. Who do you like? If you couldn't do the procedures yourself and you were sending a loved one or family member or friend and had to recommend them to somebody, who would you send them to? And you start getting these names. And then from there, we started reaching out going, hey, you know what? We're putting together a national directory of peer recommended providers, and we want to offer you the opportunity for your area to be the recommended provider. The whole point in doing a directory is to drive traffic. It's a marketing expense. Whether you're in the yellow pages or, New Beauty or marketing with Real Self or any of these other platforms, they all cost money because it costs money to drive traffic to those sites. SEO, Google AdWords, social media ads, all the things that are used to drive traffic. So obviously, when the people were invited to be in the directory, there were fees associated with it, which there still are. That now it's just a membership. It's a little bit different. But in the beginning, people were seeing that and they were equating the directory with the Top 100 award. So you had all these people going, well, I was asked to be in the Top 100 and they were trying to charge me money for it. And it was like, no one was asked to be in the Top 100. They were asking to be in the directory. And where the problem ran in is just our branding. We're
Right.
Aesthetics America, but the brand we use is Best Aesthetic Injectors in America. So that's one of our trademarks. That's a brand we use. We use it for the Top 100 Award. We also use it for our National Directory of Recommended Providers. And then we also have the Best Aesthetic Injectors National Summit, which is our invite-only summit that we do annually that you've been to, obviously. So those are the things that we utilize that brand for. But outside that brand, there's just so much more that we operate and do for our members of Aesthetics America.
This episode of Brotox and Chill is sponsored by Growth 99, the med spa industry's leading digital marketing platform. Our med spa, Drippy Nurse Jess, has been a Growth 99 customer for the past 2 years, and we could not be more satisfied with the work that we've done together. With powerful marketing automation, beautiful websites, and expert services which include paid media and SEO, you know you're in good hands with Growth 99. Visit the website, growth99.com. Visit them today. Click on the link in our show description right there below. That's awesome, Phil. You said a lot. That's awesome. You actually answered a lot of the questions that I had for you without even having to ask. And you cleared up a lot of confusion. And I love what you said, right? You're a victim of your own success as it relates to your good branding and your good marketing, because everyone associates just your entire business under the umbrella of BAI. So I'm glad that you were able to kind of add some clarity and give insight on the separation of the two. And if I'm understanding you correctly, again, the beginning of everything, you had the awards first, and then that birthed the directory and the business element of things. Cool. And again, just for the record, just so you know out there, Joe Public and Joe Viewer, you can't pay to be on the top 100 list. You can pay to be in the directory.
Never have.
Right. You can pay to be in the directory, right? And that's just the cost of doing business. But just because you're in the directory and doing business with Aesthetics America doesn't mean that you're automatically going to be at BAI hanging out with me drinking tequila. That you've got to get voted in for.
That's 100% correct. And at the same time, even with the directory, we're not just a traditional directory that any provider in the country can call up and go, hey, I want to list myself in your directory. That's not how it works. It's still an invite-only community. We'll never have over 300 providers at one time. We keep it very exclusive. We like to say that the Aesthetics America community is only for the top 1% of providers in the U.S. So if you're invited in, we consider you a top 1% in the country. That's completely separate than the top 100. Now, when you're talking about 1%, the estimation of providers nationwide currently is right around 30,000 providers. That includes your what I call weekend warriors, people that don't do it full time but maybe do Botox parties, all the way up to the med spas that have multiple providers. But there's they say around 30,000 active aesthetic injectors in the country. So with us only representing up to 300, we like to say we're only representing the top 1% of the industry. And of that, just because you're part of that organization, like you were saying, and are invited in, you get your perks that help you with your business, but that doesn't guarantee you a spot on the top 100, and vice versa. Even the people that make the top 100, they're not listed in the directory or a member of our community automatically. They're obviously invited to join, but they would still need to join if they want the marketing associated with our company for their business or the other perks that come along that I'll also talk to you about.
Understood. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about that in a bit. I know you've got some cool stuff coming down the pipeline for the community, but you've used the term community a couple of times in this conversation, and I want to talk about it, right? One of my favorite things about the aesthetic industry is the community and the people within it and just how it's been created. Now, earlier you had mentioned that initially when you were breaking into the space, there was some initial pushback. I want to kind of expand on that, and talk about A, what that looked like, and B, how and why you were able to push through it, and why you really wanted to create what you've created and the value that you bring to the community. And then now that you have created a community, and what I look at is kind of like a family around you, like I said, we, being me and my wife, wouldn't have made it as far in this space as we have, or have the credibility that we have outside of our local market, if it weren't for the relationship that we have with you and a handful of other people in the space. But candidly, the majority of those people we met through you and through your event. So let's talk a little bit about, again, the early days of breaking into the community, what it looked like back then, why you wanted to push through, and then how that ultimately led to you creating a community and family around yourself within the space.
No, I mean, basically, like I said in the beginning, it was just helping out, friends that had practices with the marketing aspect, and then seeing the opportunity that was there that could help so many others that, weren't getting a shot, or, these big organizations in these states even that trying to push people out. There's some states now that are still proposing that they want to have doctors only inject, and you have these different people that are fighting for that. Well, we're the exact opposite. We don't judge based on your certifications behind your name. We recognize everyone from RN to PAs, MPs, MDs, DOs. Doesn't matter what your letters are. We recognize the people that are the most talented, that are out there doing the work, and we support everybody that's trying to make their way, that's doing right in the industry. So, when we first got started, you had pushback. There's people, same thing I talked about before. Oh, who's he to be doing the award? Well, you know what? I'm not picking the people. I would agree, 100% agree. I have no business going out and saying who the best providers are, but I never was. I wasn't the one picking the top 100. I was simply the pollster putting out the nominations, going, hey, I'm collecting the data and just putting out what the data says. So obviously, if you're going to use an insider to do that, that seems a little more shady than an outsider doing it, because the insider is the one that would cheat the system because they're already tied into it. It's political gain. We never had the political gain. So for us, we were able to come in with a non-biased opinion and really grow it that way. And I just saw the opportunity it was missing. I've seen other organizations from dentistry and chiropractic and just kind of the way they support, because I have other friends that are in those professions, and the way these national organizations support them, from conferences to, discounted memberships to different things, and, all these different things these organizations provide, that I just saw an opportunity for that. And obviously you can't grow it overnight. It takes time, but over the last 8 years, that's what we've done. We've taken time and made sure we grew it right and took our time. And we've got noise. We get bad, but like I was saying earlier, it's like you said, what kept you pushing through when people were, screaming and saying this and saying you weren't legit? There was always more people that were appreciative of what we were doing. We always had more support than we had noise.
There you go.
And so it's one of those things in life, coming through sports, you learn. Not everybody's going to love you. There's people that are going to boo you. There's people that are going to heckle you. And it's just part of it. If you hear the noise, it distracts you from what your goals are. And I just let it go in one ear and out the other. It wasn't worth fighting those battles. It stayed focused on what we were trying to grow, and we were able to poke through and grow it. And now it's here, and we're doing a lot of good. Not only now is it about BAI. BAI is just a small part of what it is now, as far as the annual award and the directory, but more so the things we're doing for our members now are getting them, discounted things. Like we're putting together. Our GPO is about to launch right now, which is our group pricing organization. It's basically a collective buying group, allowing our small mom and pop providers, or the people that own their own little practices, to compete with the big boys, the private equity that are trying to squash everybody and price them out of the market. Now the independent provider can come in. Obviously they can't order 100 units of everything and get the best pricing. So what ends up happening is these companies squeeze them down to where they have to be loyal to them, because that's the only way they're going to get good pricing, is if they only use one product. Well, we're trying to trade that up and go, hey, you know what? We can give you bulk pricing on minimum orders because we're buying collectively as a group. So you don't have to go out and buy 100 units of this and 50 units of this to get that pricing. You can go out now and buy 10 of this, 10 of this, 10 of this, and you're still going to get that pricing through our organization. So that's just one example. The other has to do with the people we've partnered with for trainings and other seminars. We do our own pop-up events that are exclusive to our group. Yeah. But people can go through us and figure out the trainings that we recommend nationwide, and the people that we've partnered with that we think are truly the best in the industry. And because they're members, they get discounts on all that. So the whole key to the model is, hey, if you're paying to be a member of our organization, the membership will pay for itself
through the
10
perks.
times over throughout the year, and just the discounts you're going to save between product sales, between discounts on trainings that you might want to attend, from the exclusive pop-up events and things you're able to attend, to being able to come to our National BAI Summit that you've obviously been to and see the value in, just all that. And that's on top of the marketing that we drive to you through social media and through our directory to help grow your business. So it's tenfold, and it's all about that Metaesthetics America community that we're really trying to grow. But at the same time, when I say grow, I mean not as far as numbers, but try to grow as far as our involvement and how we help people. But, you know, we still want to maintain that exclusivity of no more than 300 top providers in the country.
Absolutely. So, Phil, I want to jump in because you've touched on just so many key points, right? As the viewers will see throughout this season, there's several recurring themes, and you threw out a lot of them, right? Perseverance, fighting through, not caring about the noise, because you're going to find more support than you will have noise. But the thing that I really want to drill down on that you just explained and outlined, because again, a lot of the viewers are entrepreneurs, whether you realize it or not. You're watching this trying to figure out, how do I get started? Where do I fit in? How do I get in
Absolutely.
where I fit in, etc. And one of the key things that I love about your model and the recurring theme that you just shared with us is you're solving a problem. Okay. Our good friend, our mutual friend, and a dear friend of my wife and I, Yvonne Delos, that's one of the things that she always told us from day one, right?
Love her as well. She's great.
Absolutely. That's our fairy godmother. You know, one of the things she always told us from day one is fill a void. When you see a void or you see a problem, solve the problem, fill the void and provide value. And everything that you've just outlined isn't about your bottom line or driving revenue to the business. Like, yeah, of course that happens. That's just a byproduct of success in helping people. If you create value, money, revenue will naturally flow to you. But everything that you've just outlined, and literally from day one of meeting you, it's always been about, hey, let me help you out. You know, hey, you know what? I like you.
100%.
I want you to come to this event. Let me help you out. Getting people into your directory. You know, again, I don't know if I know everyone doesn't leverage membership the best way that they can, but if you're new to the game, you're fortunate enough to get membership into Metaesthetics, you know, hey, take before and after pictures, tag them, and guess what? Your shit's going to get reposted and hundreds, if not thousands of people are going to see it. And yeah, they don't live in your backyard or in your town, but you take that repost and you repost it, and the people who do live close to you, you look that much more credible to them. So again, there's just so many benefits outside of just, again, coming to the party or to the event and hanging out and drinking with us, but you have to have your eyes open to actually see that. But I love that everything you do revolves around creating value and helping people out. And the GPO, oh my gosh, that is solving a huge problem that I know we face and we experience our med spas here in a small town. I would love to have a relationship with all the cool vendors. I would love to buy from everyone that we hang out with and we've had the pleasure of meeting, but we can't. We just can't. Right. And it pigeonholes you to where you gotta, you know, you have the strongest relationship with whoever you get the best product from, and that may or may not be what's best for your ultimate consumer or the end user or the patient. So it's great with what you're offering. Now, just to ask and get clarity on that, so you get access to that benefit as a member. How does that work again?
Right. So basically, if you're invited to be a part of our organization, which is basically being invited to be listed in our National Directory of Peer Recommended Providers, if you're invited to be in that, these are all just perks that come with that membership. Okay. Being able to get a passcode to shop on our GPO site, to be able, you'll get invites to all of our exclusive pop-up events that we do around the country throughout the year, where some of our, you know, preferred partner companies will come in and do specialized pricing, and they'll sponsor these events. We've done some trendy brunches around the country. I know we were looking at doing one in San Jose, but we'll probably have to push that back to spring. But those are just a little bit of it. And the same thing, there's just different trainings that we support and that we back that a lot of our top people train for. So people that are new to our community that are still looking to go to some of these trainings, they're going to get discounts through our organization, not if they do with the products, to attend some of these training programs as well. And so it's basically what you just said, though. You know, I didn't get into the industry going, oh, I'm going to get rich overnight doing this. As a matter of fact, you don't get rich overnight doing it. It's the exact opposite. But it's one of those things, as the whole vision on this was, hey, let's build this big community. Let's benefit the people that need it so they can focus on building their brand and growing their business. All we want to be is the support behind it. Because like you said, if you start supporting people and it starts snowballing, you support more and more and more, the success and the money is going to come later. But if you're in it chasing that, I wouldn't advise this be an industry to get in even as a provider, because it's not going to happen quick. A lot of people see the flashy sides of it, but they don't see the late nights. They don't see the work that goes in, the marketing, everything else that goes behind it to grow a business. And that's not even just aesthetics. That's any industry out there. There are no shortcuts. It's all about putting in the time and the work. And if you don't do it, you're not going to see the results. And so that's our biggest thing. Our goal is to go out there, support the people that are really doing awesome, allow them to grow their brands, and we've got their back from a support system to get them discounts, to get them exposure, to do all the things to help them grow their business. And like you said, there's some other great people out there like Yvonne that's doing the same stuff. Love Yvonne to death, support her. She's been nothing but supportive of me from the very beginning, and I have a lot of appreciation for her and a lot of people like her in the industry that kind of helped me along the way too with their advice.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, I've said it many times before. It was Yvonne and it was you. You know what I mean? That was our in. That's how we got into the industry for sure. Just the two of you guys. Let's do this, Phil. We'll take a quick break, give you and the viewers an opportunity to get a refill. I see your repo's getting low there. I see your repo's getting low there. The viewers are probably getting low as well. We'll take a quick break, hop into a commercial, and we'll come right back and close this thing out. Sound good?
Sounds great, man.
All right, guys. See you in a second. This episode of Brotox and Chill is sponsored by Growth 99, the med spa industry's leading digital marketing platform. Our med spa, Drippy Nurse Jess, has been a Growth 99 customer for the past 2 years, and we could not be more satisfied with the work that we've done together. With powerful marketing automation, beautiful websites, and expert services, which include paid media and SEO, you know you're in good hands with Growth 99. Visit the website, growth99.com. Visit them today. Click on the link in our show description right there below. All right, Phil, we're back. Hope everybody got their glasses refilled, whether it's Reposado or vodka, it doesn't matter. As long as you're having a drink, it's Brotox and Chill time. So, Phil, I wanted to ask you, I see this year's winners for Top 100 Injectors 2026 was just announced. Pretty exciting to see who made the cut. I love seeing all of the requests for votes all over Instagram. It's actually a pretty cool trend that you've created, or that the nominees have created. But where can people go to see this year's winners?
Yeah, you know, I'll start out on this first. Like, one of the things about the top 100 is it's not for everybody, and it's not meant to be for everybody. It's not supposed to be this all in all. And there are a lot of great injectors out there that don't even participate in the top 100. So we like to say that the top 100 is 100 of the best, not necessarily the best. It's 100 of the top providers in the United States that choose to participate in this and have fun. It's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be the holy grail of the industry, because it's not that. There's a lot of people that don't participate in it. It's just meant to be fun, have some community support for those that want to participate in it, and, you know, kind of bring the industry together for a little bit at the end of the year and let people kind of pick their favorites and have fun with it. So the people that get all upset about it, there's no need to. There's nobody knocking you if you don't make it. It doesn't mean you're not worthy or that you're not an amazing injector, because that's simply not the facts. As a matter of fact, the only people that really should matter and B, that you should be number one to is your own patients. So
there you go.
I'm saying that it is a lot of fun every year. And like you were talking about, there's a lot of the community that gets behind it. They send it out. You get to see everybody supporting everybody. And that's what it's really meant for. But yeah, we just announced it. This year was great. You can see the list at bestaestheticinjectors.com. There's also a link there to our directory so people can find recommended providers for them in their area. So if you go to bestaestheticinjectors.com, you'll find the top 100 winners for 2026, as well as our directory of recommended providers from across the country. And like I mentioned earlier, it's not the same list. You will see some of the top 100 that choose to list themselves in the directory, but they're two completely separate lists that just happen to be posted on the same site. But yeah, that's fun. This year's process was crazy, man. Every year it just seems to get a little bit more and more popular. The number of votes and stuff that come in is absolutely insane. It ends up taking us several weeks to, formulate the winners once it ends, because you got to go through, and we have a accounting software that counts everything, but you still have to go through and separate once you get total numbers and the duplicates are kicked out and all the stuff like that. The bots and everything are closed out, because you'd be surprised the number of people that use that stuff. But you still there's still a human element where you have to go through and see who had provider votes as opposed to patient votes and everything else. And it's a real process, but at the same time, it is fun because it's only a once a year thing. And one of the cool things this year was there was a lot more new people to it than typical. Like most of the time we have about, I would say 30 to 35 new providers that make it. And I want to say this year we were closer to around 40 new providers, which is the most we've ever had in 1 year of kind of changing the guard. But it also just shows the popularity of the contest, and more people are choosing to participate in it. That's all. It's not necessarily, like I said, it's not necessarily because they're that much better. It's just more people taking the time to do it because they see the value in the marketing behind it.
Absolutely. Now, you touched on a big point. I personally feel, this is just my opinion, but I feel that it is becoming more and more popular because of the popularity of the actual summit, right? People are seeing the BAI summits. The attendees are all, we're there with our phones and we're posting and we're reposting and we're going live. And for lack of a better term, the summits are now going viral, right? With each passing year. And then I've actually had the fortune to attend a couple of them. It grows year over year. So with the excitement that's been built with 2026's nominees and the voting and all the new providers that are now into it, can you give us a sneak peek on what to expect? Because the winners of the top 100 this year, we should expect to see some of them at 2026's BAI Summit, correct?
Oh, absolutely. You'll see probably, I would say, close to half the top 100, as well as about half of the recommended providers that are listed in our directory will attend each year. So we're expecting anywhere from 160 to 200 providers to attend. This year's BAI Summit, which obviously for people that are missing it, it's BAI, Best Aesthetic Injectors, National Summit, will be April 24th through 26th at the Hard Rock Hotel in San Diego, California. So
West Coast.
It's great. We're putting together the kind of the full itinerary, everything right now. We're finalizing all of our sponsors and speakers that will be doing it, but we're going to do some really cool stuff. We're going to have a surprise concert the first night with a celebrity music artist to kind of kick things off. And then it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's, as you know, it's an invite-only event. There's no cost to the providers to come to it other than their travel and hotel. But all the food, the parties, and the conference itself are covered by our sponsors, and that's one of the things that makes it so great. As well as we do mix a lot of the social aspects into it as well.
It's a kick-ass time. Aside from the fun, though, there is actually a lot of learning that goes on there. But what I always enjoy about it, and it can't get overlooked, it's the relationships, right? I mean, Phil, you know this. My wife and I, we spent literally an entire year, a full 12-month calendar year of every other month going to conferences. And the balance of education and fun that you have at your summit, it's unmatched. But along with that, the relationships that are built there, like you meet somebody at a BAI summit, you spend time with them, and it's like you're friends, if not family, for life after that, especially, this year we all went on a cruise. I mean, you go on a cruise with people, you hang out in the Bahamas. How do you not become BFFs right after that? So it's awesome to hear. You guys heard it first. It's going to be in San Diego this year, the Hard Rock Casino. Vendors, speakers, do yourselves a favor, reach out to Phil, get in contact. I would strongly recommend you get involved in this and participate. Like the quality of the attendees there, it's unmatched. It really is. And for those of you that are interested in attending as an attendee, again, I encourage you, check out the website, see if you can get into the directory, if you can get an invite, and then hopefully we'll be at the bar drinking tequila together. Only the good stuff, though.
Yeah, I mean, any providers out there that might be watching this that are interested in potentially getting involved in our organization. Like I said, we are invite only, but you can definitely go to our site. You can fill out an application to join, and you'll basically need to let us know what your experience is. You'll need to submit some before and afters, or show us your Instagram profile that shows some of your work so we can see the quality of your work, as well as list some references. So there are certain people that might be out there, they're like, oh, well, I haven't been invited. Well, you can be proactive about it. If you are interested, there is a way to apply, because there are a lot of great people out there. So I encourage you still to apply if you want to be involved. And if for any reason you don't get accepted, we'll let you know why and what you need to do to be accepted down the road. So we're very transparent about all that, because like I said, we're here to support the community, and ideally we'd love to have everybody involved if we could. We don't have the room and the capability to do it. But like I said, people can go to medestheticsamerica.com. That's our provider site. That's not a marketing site for the public or for patients. That's just for providers. They can go on there. From there, they can apply, or they can see just everything our organization's about, as well as all the information for the upcoming summit. So if you want to see the top 100, go to bestaestheticinjectors.com, or the directory is there also. That's for the patient side and for the public. For actual providers, go to medestheticsamerica.com, and there you'll get all the information about our organization, what we do, the summit, and everything else.
Absolutely. And thanks for that. And again, guys, you see it right there on the screen. All the websites are listed there. Everything is hyperlinked in the description as well. It's all over the socials. So worst case scenario, if you can't get to Phil, if you can't get to the website, slide in my DMs and I'll make sure to connect you. Phil, let me ask you a few questions before I get you out of here. And again, thanks for spending this time with us. You travel more than anybody that I know on this planet, right? And I don't know how you do it. But I want to be you when I grow up. So I've got a few fun questions for you around your travel and your travel experience. So the first is, do you consider yourself an overpacker or underpacker?
I think I figured it out at this point. I used to be an overpacker. I'm not really an overpacker anymore, man. I'm not afraid to rerun my travel clothes if I need to. If I wear it there, I can wear it home, So I would say probably a little more of an underpacker now.
Right on, travel light. And that means you have figured it out, because I swear I'm trying to figure out how to travel light and I never do. I always overpack.
Well, it's one of those things. The worst case scenario, you can always go buy something. If you run out or you stain something that you can't rerun, you can always go down and purchase something, but it's nothing worse than traveling with a bunch of clothes that you never even wore.
Yeah. And it just stays in the luggage, or it takes up space in the hotel closet, which is never big enough. All right, another question for you. So when you do travel, let's say specifically for industry-related travel, conferences, summits, etc., what are 3 things that you have to have, you cannot travel without?
There's not a whole lot, man. I've traveled so much that it's like, it's just another day in my life. So I don't really have attachment things that I have to have with me. Obviously, my computer, so that I can work from anywhere, is one thing that I have to have with me at all times. I'll go with a remote battery charger for my phone, because I've got to keep that power and it's always running low. And then...
What about like hotel requirements? Wow. A must-have in the hotel. I won't stay in the hotel if they don't have...
Well, I'm not real picky on hotels, man. I'm really not. I would say I'll go as easy as AC and Wi-Fi.
I was going to say a good hotel bar.
I'm not too good for Motel 6. I mean, obviously, I prefer to stay at 4-star hotels or above, but I'm not too good to stay anywhere. I'm a guy still at the end of the day that's from Oklahoma that'll sleep at a Motel 6 if I need to.
And that's why I love you. That's why I love you. All right, Phil, man.
Now, if my girl's with me, that ain't happening. If my girl's with me, it's got to be something nice. But if I'm traveling solo, I don't need a lot.
I hear that. I know it's different when your lady's with you, man. Everything changes when we're traveling with our plus ones, right? Phil, let's do this, man. I want to thank you so much for the time. We'll end it on that note. You've been so kind.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you joining us again on the kickoff episode of Brotox and Chill. I know our viewers took a lot out of this and they learned a lot. Again, all of the websites are right there at the bottom of the screen right now. Check out the description, the links in the descriptions. Phil is all over social media. You will see best Aesthetic Injectors on Instagram. If you have any questions, don't hesitate, reach out. I know you guys learned a lot from this. This is what you can expect from the show. We're going to have a lot of fun, talk a little bit of shit, but you will always learn something and be able to take something away from it. So before I let you go, Phil, do you have any parting words? Anything you want to share with the viewers?
No, absolutely, man. I just want to say cheers to you. Thanks for having me on the show, and I think the show is going to be great, man. I think what you put together is awesome, and I can't wait to support and follow all the episodes and follow along, man. I think it's gonna be great for the industry.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Phil. I will see you soon.
Sounds good, man. Have a great evening.
Thanks, buddy. You too.